Eventually there's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, no food to eat, with no appetite. No Dick's cheeseburgers. And no Grubhub delivery. No Uber car driver to get a lift to Whole Foods to have a catered meal ready for pickup now. All buildings are Black Lives Matters, Antifa, anarchy, language and letters, sentences and no economics now. Sunlight, in other words, and no energy. Dollars and cents in bank accounts with Bitcoin purses online. Mouses and keyboards and computers typing about a meeting for a protest about another group of police supporters who need to be silenced. A man building a bomb, using his hands to tie wires and buy substances at grocery stores families use for baked goods during a fall season with leaves and birds. And a mystery everyone calls truth and declares law, called black clothing and a fist in the air. Or all anyone needs to buy some marijuana and some cannabis and some weed, some tobacco, some cigarettes, and some booze, and say, I'm gonna fuck you up tomorrow, to a woman who's a man. And how all he wants at any doorstep of any female gender neutral human in his building now, with social housing and apartments in a house with rooms, in a building for studios, in small size. I will fuck you up tomorrow. I'm gonna fuck you up tomorrow. A man to a woman, and he had an agreement. He fucks her up, and she follows his rules. Stimulates him, and he rewards her with his observing smoke break from his tablet or his phone or some other device that he watches and learns about behavior, mind and self. And then visits a landlord and has a conversation with a staff member of Community House Mental Health Organization on Capitol Hill in Seattle, Washington. Nearly 2 o'clock in the morning to say to a woman, I'm gonna fuck you up tomorrow, and I say, thunder. And you go, I'm gonna fuck you up. And then I say, and you say, yeah, you motherfucker. And go and puff your cigarette with your teeth nearly falling out of your mouth, with a skull and skin. And pale color. And Pabst Blue Ribbon breath. Nobody can ever solve where the bags come from with all the Pabst Blue Ribbon right next to the door where you walk in and smell his filth. Who says to a woman, yeah, I'll bring you what you need. I will provide assistance. And all he requests are rules. Time for him to be safe, scared from having no food, and lungs filled with tar, and a stomach rotting from processed foods. A woman who can't sleep from anarchy bangs a wall of a neighbor who's a friend of her now. And then there's a duality for a friend who has to say to a man, I will kill you, I will fucking bury you. And then I will go turn myself in to be the change I wish to see in the world. You goddamn ugly fucking Jesus-hating bully. And a man could get a haircut and look pretty for a lady on a date. And he'd walk by and blow his smoke for a trail, for a walk to his world now. On an earth, he says, needs more forgiveness and more religion, more self and more behavior and more observation and more listening and more confusion and more emotion. And then the social conditions, he says, with his face, his eyes, his body, his mouth, his fingernails, and dirty clothes, will have no climate change. When all the cars have no gas, all the electricity in buildings have been destroyed and gone. From an energy source, he allowed terrorism to destroy, and he allowed another country to invade soil and trees, to take resources to Tibet and China and Russia and Iran and North Korea and all over the globe, to make a fire to keep him, his self, his dominance. From his heart, for his breath, not exceeding the limits of his dying lungs, in scorched throat. Now,